Welcome to the UNBO tutorial Cater to first-time competitors. Congratulations on making the decision to want to step on stage for the first time, or maybe it's your second or even third time competing. This is a new organization or it's been a while and you want to step back on stage. I'm going to go over some basic steps to get you started to be able to position yourself to reach your goal, to shine under the lights. So with that said, let me get started. The first thing you got to do is make a decision to step on stage. Well, you're listening to this, so I assume you had a defining moment. You grabbed on to some inspiration on wanting to be the best version of yourself and you want to compete. So welcome to the UNBO. With that said, where do I go next is what show would I like to hit? Well, I have a half a dozen of shows that start in July. So I cater to 3 major states right now because this is a new organization, but I am an old dog and I've got a lot of new tricks that would certainly cater to first-time competitors and the whole different approach of competing where I cater to that inspirational piece. Because after all, we all got to go to work on Monday. We're doing this to be the best version of ourselves, whether you want to compete at a high level or just be able to knock off a bucket list or just a way to be able to reach a goal. So the UNBO is your place to be. And picking an event, we're out of Georgia in July, and then we come in August in New Jersey, right in Toms River. Then in September, we'll jump back into Georgia in Athens. It's about an hour outside of Atlanta. Then we'll wrap up the season in November in Yardley, PA. So that's the start of 2025's shows you get to choose from. The UNBO is a natural catered to competitors. And what that means is that any type of enhancement, performance enhancement drugs are not something we focus on. We do the testing in 2 parts. First, it's a polygraph test where the day before the show itself, you would have made an appointment to sit with a polygraph representative that's a professional polygraph. And if you've ever done them before, I don't have to describe, but if it is your first time, basically it's a blood pressure cuff and some electrodes they kind of put around your waist, and they're testing heart rate and how you respond to various questions or so. If you've seen it on TV, that's kind of what it is. And nothing that hurts or anything that can hurt you in any way, shape, or form. But it's really a test of basic questions on being able to be truthful that you're competing drug-free, and they give various questions to verify that. With that said, once upon passing, I get notified, and then you're able to compete. Because again, unfortunately, there are individuals that want to be dishonest and step on stage. Not sure why when this is an amateur and professional competition, but there are individuals to that would like to kind of fib a little bit. So we're trying to weed that out to make sure that the competition is fair. The last test we do is in the open division. Any winners in the open division upon that division having enough competitors, and or if the judging staff believes that the competitor does warrant the ability to turn professional, that means basically entitling them to obtain their professional card. And basically what that would be is being able to compete in the professional division, where instead of hardware, medals type of thing for winning the divisions, it would be a purse of cash, and it's the almighty dollar. So that's an exciting thing. That's bragging rights and such. But upon winning that, there is a urinalysis test, and that's a little bit deeper because the proof is in the pudding. The urinalysis would go to, Quest lab and verify, in fact, that the urine isn't showing any type of enhancement drugs per se. So that is the first thing that you'd want to do, again, to pick the show of choice. Now, keep in mind, because this is a bodybuilding competition for men and women, and there's other type of divisions that you can go towards, but it's all about conditioning and strength, muscularity and symmetry. There's different ways that we view and judge the overall physique itself, as well as a couple other key elements that the judges judge when you are on stage. So it's important to pick the right show that gives you enough time to be able to prepare for it. Because again, to be a better version of yourself, that means the obvious when we're talking about the bodybuilding divisions, it's getting leaner. And depending on what your current bodybuilding or what your current body composition is, how much time do you need to be able to be appropriately lean enough for the division or the category you're going to choose is going to be something that you're going to have to look at and determine. And this is where I'm going to be able to help you. The first, again, let's start from the top. The first thing you want to do is pick the date of the show. There's plenty of time at this point for July if you're in Georgia, or August if you're in Toms River, New Jersey, or again if you're in September in Georgia, or November in Yardley, PA. Depending on how much body composition you need to adjust, you definitely want to give yourself plenty of time to be able to do that. So that's the first thing, is picking the date of the show. After that, when you do decide on a date, then jump into the category descriptions. Those are in the website right under where you located this video. There's going to be the category of description. The men categories are listed as well as the women. If you're looking at the bodybuilding category, there's quite a few for the men, and there's a little bit more for the women, starting out at bodybuilding, classic, and then physique for the men. And then as far as women, it's bikini, it's wellness, it's figure, and then you can have the hero divisions. But basically, the first thing is kind of read through what it would entail regarding the type of conditioning, the type of muscle quality, what the muscles would look like, and then the symmetry, how symmetrical everything is overall. And when they talk about those categories, just to give an example, when I give an example of an extreme, if you looked at the bodybuilding category, the bodybuilding in men's would be the most extreme of all the descriptions, meaning condition. You would absolutely see the skin to the muscle like cellophane, being able to see all the details, the striations, the separations, the vascularity, and then the muscles themselves, how much density they have, how healthy they look, and then the symmetry, how much little the waist is to the shoulder ratio to the quads. These are the extremes. Now, keep in mind, if one wants to target one of these categories, don't think to reach that category you have to be in the maximum of extreme in each description, symmetry, muscularity, and conditioning, because you do not. There's various levels. Each individual body is like a different fingerprint. We're all trying to be the best version of ourselves. If your body does not match the bodybuilding category, look at the next category. Classic would be a step down, and then physique would be a step down from that. So we do have various categories that could fit your body. And it's the same illustration for women. Women, the most extreme is the women's bodybuilding. Same level of extreme conditioning, extreme muscularity, extreme symmetry, extreme meaning very balanced and such. So those are the criteria for the physique. If you cannot reach that criteria, there are other categories that can closely match it. So that's the importance to kind of gear towards what you might want to. If you're first and you like the bodybuilding look and the drastic, you can certainly earmark to reach that. The decision does not have to be made until the last day of registration deadline to pick a category. And just a side note, if you do pick a category and in the midst of prep, as you get closer, you decide, you know what, I'm in better shape than I thought, I'd like to change it, or the reverse. That's easily done, and notifying me, we could certainly handle that. So picking a show, picking a category, and gearing towards that as a goal. The next thing would be I'd encourage, if financially and time permits, to be able to hire a coach. A coach is extremely helpful if you're able to, or if you have friends that might assist you that have knowledge of it. The reason being is because they can give you a good assessment on how to properly train and put together a nutrition plan so you could do it as healthy as possible. Because as I always say regarding competing, when you step on stage, that's the time of enjoyment. The journey is when the fun and magic actually happens. Because every day as you unfold your plan, your weight training, your nutritional balance, you will see your body change. And you absolutely want to make sure that you're doing it properly, because I'm assuming that the majority of the competitors have full-time jobs and families and responsibilities. You got to be able to function. And as a current competitor myself, at age 59 with a full-time career and kids, I know firsthand that it's critical to make sure you do it right, which you can, to be able to function so you could think properly. I know the stress gets very heavy as you get closer, especially a first-time competitor. The nerves start to get to you and it becomes sleepless nights. I understand that, but a proper coach will help you and make sure that you're doing it correctly and doing it in the appropriate amount of time. The Widmer team, under the Unbroken nutritional coaching, we can certainly help you in that aspect. There is the tab for the Unbroken Fitness to be able to contact us and assist. If you do not have a coach, we can certainly do that and assist you in any way we can. The next thing to do would be to key in on posing coaching. That is something you can learn from your coach as well, or in turn, again, the Unbroken Fitness will be offering local posing classes if it's in that New Jersey location, so please be on the lookout for that. But that's something that you can look at, because once you do the work of the nutrition, of the weight training, when it's time to step on stage, depending on the category you go into, there are various poses that you would have to learn to be able to be judged properly. Bodybuilding for the women or men, or if it's classic for the men, or men's physique for the men, or the other categories for the women, which is bikini and figure and wellness and the bodybuilding. Each category has its specific poses that's catered to represent your body in the best way. And if you do not know those poses or don't perform them effectively, that could potentially not let you be judged fair. Because I always say, as competitors I help with posing, that if you don't show it, they can't judge it. So that is something that I feel is truly undervalued and underperformed in practice. Looking for a posing coach or clinic is certainly encouraged. As you get close, I would recommend, if it's within 6 weeks of the show, to start doing your poses. If you can do it sooner, the better, by all means. But the plate becomes super full, especially, like I said, when you have a full-time job and you have kids, and if they're in athletics, you get the gist. It could become overwhelming. But once in that 6-week span to really start to practice those posings, we as Unbroken Fitness can certainly help. You can click on the tab. You could reach out to us and we can arrange. It can also be done via Zoom as well as in person. So posing, keep in mind. The next thing would be to obviously sign up for the show of choice, picking the category that you are looking to compete in. Now, as an example, as I favorite, because that's my category of bodybuilding, if you're looking to compete as a male bodybuilder, you go onto the UNBO site, you click on first and foremost to get your membership card. The membership card entitles you to be able to compete in any of the 2025 events. Once you obtain your membership card, then you click on to register for the show. The registration is through the website. It's located on the tabs regarding the shows. And then in turn, you go through the application and answer all the corresponding questions. Now, keep this in mind. Regarding the category would be bodybuilding. The divisions for newbies, debut, or novice, or masters, 45, 50, 60, over 70. Then you have the open and military. So just a quick summary, the divisions are plentiful under the bodybuilding category. Which one would you choose? How many would you choose? I'll give this recommendation. If you're committed to a show and you're 20 weeks out, so you have 20 weeks to do all your work in hard training and nutrition to prepare for the show. You went through all the posing and you're preparing for the show. Now, keep in mind, the day of the show is when you get to step on stage, show your hard work to friends and family, and be satisfied on what you accomplish. How long would that take for each individual division? On average, you would stand on stage roughly 4 to 5 minutes. Doesn't sound a lot for 20 weeks worth of prep, hard work, and sacrifice, motivation, and dedication. So my recommendation is to go into as many divisions as you can for twofold. Firsthand, to be able to get as much experience as you can for it, because the experience standing on stage, keep in mind, the first time, it will be nerve-wracking. You'll have butterflies, and you'll ultimately start to warm up. The moment you start to warm up and maybe possibly realize that I'm having a great time, it's time to get off. So if you have another division to go into and another, you get a chance to really enjoy the moment under the light. All the divisions are outlined within the website as you click on. Debut would be never competing before. Novice would be never have won a show before. And then the open is open to all. That is ultimately the highest competition, and that is gear-marked towards a professional card, to gain that card so then you can next time compete in the pro class to earn, instead of a beautiful trophy, but a check in hand and bragging rights. So those are the divisions. So signing up for the event that you want to gear towards, picking your category, picking your division, and then the most important thing for this organization is to share and answer some questions regarding why you're entering the show. Because we all have a defining moment. The moment where you want to say, you know what? I got to get in shape. I got to lose weight. I got to stop this addiction. I got to get my mental health back. I have just recovered over cancer. I have recovered over this illness, this financial duress, this relationship. I want to feel good about myself. I would encourage, there's 2 forms to make a short video on answering the question of your defining moment, your inspiration, and what this symbol of unbroken means to you. The questions are on the registration. The instructions are on the registration. You can either write the answers out or you can say them through your iPhone, your Android, do a little video and just upload it in. The whole point of this organization, the Unbroken, the heart, mind, body, soul. The EKG is life. It's going up and down for all of us. The weights, how heavy life can be for us. Will you, are you, can you be always unbroken? Or did you let life get to you? Did you crack? Did you bend? You had a defining moment. You're listening to this. You want to compete. You're going to be unbroken. You need to inspire others that are sitting in the audience, because from my experience, the majority of the audience never seen a bodybuilding show before. This could be, if it is, your first time. This is where I want the competitors and the audience to feel the energy, feel that motivation, feel that dedication. Let somebody walk away knowing what you did. Allow yourself to share and inspire by one story at a time. That's all on the registration when you register, and that is extremely my driving force for this organization. It spells it out more. And one more thing I'll highlight is in the divisions amongst the categories, I have a special dear to my heart category called the Unbroken Hero. It's on the website. Take a look. It'll give you the description. It's all about individuals, maybe yourself, and maybe this speaks to you, about individuals who really had serious ups and downs in lives, that we all have them. They just want to make us quit. But you know what? We didn't. We remained unbroken. We might have cracked. We might have bent, but we remained unbroken. If that's you and you really want to tell your story more than a couple sentences or a minute expressing what I ask on the registration, then you can join and sign up for the Unbroken Hero. It is an unjudged division, and you get to give me a more descriptive story on what you went through. Before pictures at your lowest time, I will share them and highlight you. This will be streamed live, the entire show. And then I will share your journey, and the audience and the competitors will listen in and watch you unveil the new you, the better version of yourself as you walk out and enjoy the moment. If that Unbroken Hero is part of one of the divisions, bodybuilding or women, you will then go through the mandatory poses solo to enjoy your moment after you've been introduced and your story told. Then you would file off and then go on to any of the other corresponding divisions that you entered. If you are an individual that just wants to share a story, does not want to be part of any of the bodybuilding categories, that's the Unbroken Hero unattached. You get to wear any attire. It's usually gym attire or anything that makes you feel the best version of yourself that's appropriate, of course. And I get to do the same. We get to share your before pictures on the screen. I personally share your story. And then you come out and you be recognized for the hard work and the journey that you endured. So keep in mind that this organization is about sharing your backstory. We know the contest prep is going to be difficult, and individuals would love to hear about that, but they'll be inspired on what you went through to get to that point, to want to start your contest prep. So the other things regarding signing up, if you're going into the categories, keep in mind, when you're on stage, you're under the bright lights. The other services that we will offer from third-party vendors is to be able to offer tanning. As you know, with the big screen or any plays or pageants, you want to tan and give a golden tan on your skin. Having your skin even toned, regardless of how dark or light complex you have, it's still advisable to be able to have a nice even glow under the lights. It's a service that's not required, but is offered. As well as for the women, there'll be hair and makeup opportunities. All these will be in the informational part about the show and the vendors when they are available. As we get closer to the show, they'll be listed, and then you can contact them accordingly. But up until now, that should give you enough information to get started. And a quick recap. First, pick a show, pick a date, look at the categories, earmark what you think you might like. If you don't have a coach or a nutritional coach, the Unbroken Fitness can certainly assist. You can contact us up on the website. The next, get involved with posing. Check with your coach. Check with the posing at the local gyms, or if you see something online, or contact and keep in tuned to the Unbroken Fitness, as we'll be offering local or Zoom-oriented posing. The next is signing up for the actual show, picking your category, picking your divisions. If financially you're able to, I encourage as many as possible. There's masters. They're all detailed on the website. Keep in mind of the Unbroken stories, the backstories, little tidbits that we will collect so we can make sure everyone knows your backstory as you're introduced to go on stage. That's an important feature. Will be offered on tanning and hair and makeup. Those are necessary, but this should complete. If you do have any questions, you need a one-on-one phone conversation, I am absolutely available. The contact information is on the website here, or you can reach out to me on Instagram. Happy prep, happy backstory, stay motivated, and always remain unbroken. See you under the lights.